Good morning and welcome to the launch of the AVCAT Alumni Network. I'm Joan Hughes, the CEO of the Australian Veterans Children's Assistance Trust, AVCAT for short. Firstly, I would like to pay my respect and acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which this event takes place, and I pay respect to elders past, present and emerging. I'm here in the AVCAT office in Sydney, and this is on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I recognise their cultures, histories and ongoing relationship and obligations to the land, sky and waterways. Joining me today are Kelly Manning and Anthony Rangel, two alumni members, and the Minister for Veterans Affairs, the Honourable Darren Chester MP, who will launch the AVCAT Alumni Network. Many people in the community are not aware of the ongoing effects of conflict on veterans' families. Studies show that compared to the general population, the dependents of veterans have health and other issues that can create a circle of disadvantage. Completing tertiary education helps to break this cycle by improving life opportunities, health and well-being, as well as employment choices. As we reached out to find people to join the Alumni Network, this message of breaking the cycle of disadvantage was loud and clear. So, how did the Alumni Network develop? Well, we found over 1,000 records of past scholarship holders and the contact details of just over 300. So we sent them all a survey because AVCAT wanted to understand better the impact of the scholarship on their lives and their careers. So to our amazement, 132 people completed the survey. Apart from getting a qualification, many of the alumni people shared messages about building hope, about building confidence, building pride, recognising the sacrifices and service of the veterans and their families, as well as easing their financial pressures while studying. As one of the alumni said, "My family felt that the scholarship gave us validation, that it recognised the difficulties that my father's service had brought to our family." And I think that says a lot of hidden messages as well as very profound messages. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Kelly Manning. Kelly has dealt with the impact of the Vietnam War through being a successful artist. Kelly, can you please share your story with us today?
Hello everyone, my name is Kelly Manning. I am an artist and the daughter of a Vietnam veteran. Throughout my childhood, I lived with the effects of my father's war experience. When I was 10 years old, I was diagnosed with a life-threatening bone tumour attached to my spine. Later, I was to discover this type of tumour affected a disproportionate number of children of Vietnam veterans and was thought to be related to the spraying of Agent Orange, a highly toxic defoliant used during the war. In 1999, the Australian Veterans Children's Assistance Trust awarded me with a long-term bursary scholarship to complete my studies at RMIT TAFE. The scholarship enabled me to purchase much-needed books, art supplies, and sometimes rent. I started the year producing a series of 10 small paintings exploring that tumour and beginning my investigation into the Vietnam War. I produced a multitude of works on paper, paintings, prints, and installations. And the following year, I was accepted into second year to do my Bachelor of Arts in Drawing at RMIT University. I continued to explore war, the physical and the psychological effects of war. And during this time, I was also properly diagnosed with PTSD, like my dad. It was an incredibly trying and creative time. I made incredible connections and was provided with amazing opportunities. I do believe I am alive today, thanks to the assistance of the scholarship. In 2003, after my scholarship and artist residency at St Vincent's Hospital, was completed, I relocated to Vietnam. I spent 4 years producing artworks about Vietnam and felt I needed to resolve this obsession with war. But I also needed to know the North and the South Vietnamese perspective. This experience provided me with inspiration to go on to produce many solo exhibitions. On my return home, I received an invitation through another connection I made through AVCAT to produce a painting for the exhibition Nam Bang held at Casula Powerhouse Museum, just next door to Holsworthy Army Base, where my dad enlisted and trained. Casula Powerhouse Museum produced a book of the exhibition with my work on the front cover, and inside many essays, one especially important, written by Lucy Lippard, an American art critic who produced her own books on Vietnam War art, and also someone I had studied and admired for years. I was able to meet her during the Nam Bang conference at Casula. These days, I'm still producing artwork based on war, but not specifically the Vietnam War. I do have an obsession with survival and the idea of an apocalypse, thanks to my father's war and SAS books. Currently, I am obsessed with the bunker and bricks, and working towards a solo exhibition, which was postponed till next year due to COVID-19. I'm currently the artist in residence at the legendary estate in regional Victoria. Here I have been making work called Monumental for my solo exhibition of sculptures. I believe that 2021 will be a full and exciting year. I have been shortlisted for the Masters of Fine Arts at one of the finest art schools Australia has to offer. I hope you will hear from me in the future. Being an artist is a tricky occupation. You navigate the world by being an expert in your field, despite feeling much adversity against you. Being a member of AVCAT's alumni gives me the opportunity to give back to community and demonstrate my deepest gratitude to AVCAT for the support and the faith that they've had in me for over 20 years. Furthermore, it also enables me to connect to a new generation of creatives and share my knowledge and experience. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of the launch of AVCAT's Alumni Network.
Thank you, Kelly, very, very much. I think one of my career highlights was to hear your story at the Melbourne presentation event a few years ago, and it's still a great highlight for me. We wish you all the very best with your master's program. I hope you get in. I'd now like to introduce Anthony. I first met Anthony in Perth a few years ago, and I was so impressed with his intelligence, with his courage, and with his commitment. Anthony, can you tell your story today?
Thank you, Joan. Dear distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Anthony Ringle, and I thank you today for the privilege of speaking at the launch of the AVCAT Alumni Network. This is a great initiative, not only to better connect alumni, but to serve as an ongoing support base for them. I was fortunate enough to come across AVCAT in 2012 during my medical studies. My father, Paul, a former member of the Royal Australian Air Force, had suddenly passed away following a short battle with metastatic prostate cancer. This had a profound effect on me, notwithstanding the change to our family, but also our financial situation. With my limited time outside of my medical school studies, I was already working multiple part-time jobs to support myself financially. Following my father's death, I strongly considered dropping out. The AVCAT Legacy Scholarship arrived at the right time and significantly reduced the financial strain. It allowed me not only to stay on top of living expenses, but to purchase essential items needed for my course. Indeed, it allowed me to undertake some of the unique training placements which inspired me to pursue my dual career as a rural generalist and an aerospace medicine specialist. There's no doubt it contributed to my success in my medical course and helped make the transition in my family life a little bit easier. Since graduating medical school, I've gone on to have a thus far very exciting and fulfilling medical career. Whilst I'm currently working in emergency medicine, I'm currently very close to completing my fellowship with the Australian College of Rural and Remote Medicine. Whilst I've been undertaking this training, I've also been able to complete my commercial pilot's licence and start my postgraduate studies in aerospace medicine. It is my intention after completing my specialty training to work for the Royal Flying Doctors Service. Whilst I was lucky to have a supportive family and parents with an established network of university friends at medical school, not everyone is so fortunate. AVCAT does a fantastic job of providing financial support to one of the most vulnerable groups in our society, the children of veterans. On average, only 64% of veterans' children graduate from post-secondary education. However, those who have received support from AVCAT have an 86% graduation rate. Financial support, however, is only part of the contributing factors of success. As I've found in my medical career, being part of and connected to a strong network of other professionals is essential to future success. As some alumni come from disadvantaged backgrounds, they may still lack many of these essential connections going forward into their professional careers. This is where the AVCAT Alumni Network may come in, acting as a resource for all AVCAT members to draw. Alumni can provide mentoring and support to current recipients. However, I envision that the network will provide support beyond graduation. It will serve to connect members, allow the cross-pollination of ideas, encourage interprofessional learning, and hopefully lead to successful new professional ventures. AVCAT has had a strong positive influence in my life, and I'm thankful for the support that they provided me. I hope that going forward, the Alumni Network will build upon the fantastic work that AVCAT has done and will go on to continue supporting and connecting the children of veterans. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anthony. My goodness, aren't we all pleased that you didn't drop out of university after your father died? We are very, very pleased that you've gone on to amazing things in your life, and thanks for sharing a story. I would now like to introduce the Minister for Veterans Affairs, the Honourable Darren Chester MP, to officially launch the AVCAT Alumni Network. Thank you, Minister.
Well, thank you, Joan. And first of all, can I acknowledge the current and the ex-serving members of the Australian Defence Force who are with us today or watching our presentation, and say to them a simple thank you for your service, but also thank you to the families who supported you in that service to our nation. And we've just heard from Kelly and Anthony their stories, two incredibly inspiring stories, and the courage and the commitment you've both shown to pursue your studies in quite diverse fields, quite polar opposites in some regards. One an artist and one a rural generalist, but that diversity just reflects on the diversity of our Defence Force and their families as well. I feel like a complete underachiever here today, Joan, so thank you, Kelly and Anthony, for sharing those stories. And I'm particularly taken, Anthony, by your comment around, the financial support's important, but that network of support, that moral support, that shared and lived experience support is going to be critical. So I'm delighted to launch this exciting initiative for the Australian Veterans Children's Assistance Trust with the new AVCAT Alumni Network. And as the Minister, I'm very much aware of the work that AVCAT does in relation to long-term bursary. But to be fair, Joan, and the comments you made at the outset, I wasn't aware of the bursary when I first became a Member of Parliament. It's only when I became the Minister I got a greater appreciation of the work you're doing. And so I think there's an ongoing challenge for us to make sure that we work in partnership to help you in your administration of the bursary, which is funded by the government through the DVA, to make sure that people are aware of the great work you're doing. And we keep telling the wonderful success stories of people like Kelly and Anthony. As everyone knows, the bursary was named after the Battle of Long Tan, which was one of the fiercest battles that Australians fought in during the Vietnam War. And it's designed as a scheme to provide some funding support for the children and the grandchildren of Australian Vietnam War veterans, and to help them with some of those tertiary education costs that have been referred to already, and help them obtain those formal qualifications that will assist them in their careers. Many have benefited from the bursary over the past 16 years, and this year the government assisted, I think it was 50 bursaries worth $12,000 each, which is a significant contribution. Some of the successful applicants that I've heard from who've written on their experience include a gentleman by the name of Matthew Alanowski, whose late father actually served in Vietnam. And I want to quote from the comments that Matthew has sent to me. Since having been awarded the bursary, I've had a renewed sense of vigour towards my studies, which has resulted in my ability to remain on top of my studies, despite the unique challenges presented by the current global climate. Although online studies can feel disheartening at times, I have learned that if you remain diligent through these tough times, there is nothing that will stop you in the future. I would like to offer a big thank you to the Department of Veterans Affairs for their support and AVCAT for everything they do. And I hope, Joan, that you do take that thanks and congratulations back to your team. And similarly, Wayne McLean, who's studying a Bachelor of Business at the Queensland University of Technology, wrote, and I quote, "I'd like to thank AVCAT and DVA for their most generous assistance through the long-term bursary. It's allowed me to pursue my studies without any financial stress, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic. This has allowed me to obtain better results than I'd normally have achieved if I were to work alongside my studies." So there's two more testimonies, Joan, to go with those of Kelly and Anthony, that the work you're doing in supporting the children and the grandchildren of our Vietnam War veterans to gain a tertiary education is just one of the ways that I think our government, our community can honour their service and put something tangible around the words, "Thank you for your service." You know, thanking people for their service and symbolism is important, but that practical support that you're providing through the bursary, I think, is very, very important. We know that it helps the students have more optimism, belief in themselves. They're more likely to undertake further study, and then people like Anthony can go and give back to the community, things like the Royal Flying Doctor Service into the future, and keep making a very valuable contribution to our community. And from reading the biographies that I've been provided on the different AVCAT alumni already, you have people working nuclear medicine, you have high school teachers, paramedics, nurse manager, partners in a major law firm, an opera singer, I believe. I haven't met the opera singer, but you have an opera singer as well. And as your website states, you're transforming lives through education. So it's a very simple and accurate reflection of the work you're doing, and I want to again thank you for that. Now, I understand this idea of the alumni has been on the boil for a few years, and it's great you've been able to deliver it here today. And I've been told that the survey of your former students provides some very constructive feedback, that they would value that sense of belonging, allow them to reconnect to other students who have had a shared experience, and then help even achieve mentorship programs in the future, which I also think has a great deal of benefit for the students. So, you know, I'm delighted that you've got this far, that your idea has now become a reality. I'm disappointed not face to face. I'm disappointed not catching up together and having a cup of coffee and sharing your stories personally. But in these COVID times, this is the best we can do. But I really do value the work you've already done, and it does give me a great deal of pleasure to officially launch the AVCAT Alumni Network. I wish you all success for the future, and I look forward to working with you as your minister, but also as a local member of Parliament who is interested in the outcomes for our veterans and their families. And take care of yourselves and look after each other, and I wish you every success for the future.
Thank you very much, Minister. Well, we also hope with the development of the AVCAT Alumni Network that we will be able to build on some of the key messages in the launch today. Both the Minister and Anthony mentioned the mentoring program. We think that's an essential program to get underway. We also know that every year, well, even for the past 4 years actually, 120 very worthy young people have missed out on a scholarship. Why? Because there aren't enough scholarships to go around. And so we hope that the AVCAT Alumni Network will also help us build a scholarship program, maybe in their name. So it would be great if we could have an AVCAT Alumni Network scholarship program. That would be terrific. But things do need to change because we don't have enough scholarships to meet the demand. I think it's even more important as we all deal with a recession and we deal with the ongoing COVID-19 issues, that investing in our young people to get a tertiary education is actually crucial to rebuild our economy. And I think we don't actually pay enough service to that sometimes. And even in these times when young people have fewer options than perhaps Anthony and Kelly had, it's even more important that they have the option to go to university, to TAFE or a registered training organisation. So we definitely have to build the number of scholarships available. And I thank all of you for being part of the launch of the AVCAT Alumni Network, and we'll all go on together to do bigger and brighter things. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, team. Thanks, Joan. Look, I'm sorry I've got to run out.
No.
I'm in Parliament today, and I've got to go and brief the House in 5 minutes, so I better
Yes.
actually